Do you? All right. Very good. Okay, we'll just go ahead and get started. Everything will catch up as it comes. Good morning, everyone. We'll get right to the show today. The topic for the show is that it's never the right time to be wrong. You know, and so we'll get into what I mean by that and the thoughts that came to my mind about that. But before we do that, as always, let's get to 60 seconds of gratitude. So we'll go around the room. We'll see what everybody's thankful for this morning. Cam, what are you thankful for this morning?
I am thankful for yesterday. I noticed that I was able to remember a lot more of stuff that we have going on without it being in front of my face. So that's something I've been working on, was expanding my capacity.
Gotcha. So because you're getting more familiar with the material, it's becoming more second nature and becoming a little bit easier to retain more.
For sure.
Perfect. Okay, great. Yeah, that is something to be thankful for. It's something good to notice about yourself. Yeah. Travis, what you thankful for?
Thankful that I got a busy day today.
Got a busy day today.
Keep me moving today.
All right. Yeah, you don't like to stay still, do you?
Not at all.
No, you got to like to move and make it happen. Making it happen. All right, very good. Josh, what are you thankful for?
My mom's on her way to Boston right now.
Okay.
I'm thankful she's getting to see some family.
Okay, that's good, because I was going to say, it just sounded like you were thankful that you got your mom out of town. See, Mom, you can't, he didn't mean that. He meant he was happy for you. Yeah.
I'm thankful she's able to spend quality time with some family we got up in Boston.
I got you.
I'm jealous, though.
So now I understand why you're a Celtics fan. Are you a Celtics fan or, yeah?
I'm a huge Red Sox and Celtics fan, but I hate the Patriots.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Mark, what are you thankful for this morning?
I'm thankful for peace. My country has elections going on, presidential elections,
Oh.
and I expected there to be a lot of chaos, but there is no chaos right now.
A lot of what now?
Chaos.
A lot of chaos, yeah. So trying to have free and fair elections. What country are you from?
Kenya.
Kenya. So right now in Kenya, they're trying to cast their vote for who they think the best, I assume man or woman, would be for the job. And to have free and fair elections is a very, very vital piece of any society. So I'm hoping that you and everyone that you know there is going to be able to get and make their voice heard and be a part of their own determination. That's a big deal. Okay, so the topic for today is never the right time to be wrong. So before we get into that, I do want to do one other small exercise. And I call this good, bad, now. That's the exercise. Good, bad, now. So the whole purpose is to just take about 30 seconds and let's get all on the same page. So the first thing is just close your eyes and I want you to think about something in your past, something in your life story or something in your knowledge. It could be anything going back any length of time. But think about something bad. It doesn't have to be horrific. It just has to be that you struck out when you played ball as a kid or anything that happened that you judged at the time to be bad or not good. So I want you to just think about that moment for just a second and then ask yourself, is that still making me feel bad? The answer is no. And then I want you to think about something good that has happened. Something, you met someone, you had a good interaction, someone told you a joke, you got a raise at work, you got an A on a test, any of those things, anywhere in your history, think about that thing and think about that moment and see if it still makes you feel good. And the answer is it doesn't. The feeling that happened then is not lasting. Now, open your eyes and realize that right here, right now, is the time that matters. All of those things happened, but right here, right now is what matters. So now that we're all together, I want to talk about how it's never the right time to be wrong. So many of you may know I do a lot of my big thinking, I do a lot of my problem solving while running. And so for me, that's sort of the way I combine a meditative practice and a present moment practice. And you know, Travis, when you're in the ring, you cannot think of anything else except what you're doing right then, because if you blink and move, you're going to get hit in the face, right? Or kicked or something like that. So for me, running is that thing that I use as a portal into the present moment. So I think about all of these kind of concepts and things. And one of the questions that has come up recently in our sales practices, in our market that we're doing in our daily business, is the idea of, is it the right time to buy? Is it the right time to sell, right? I mean, how many times have you guys pondered this question? How many times? Every day, right? So I had this thought, which is, it's really the wrong question. So if you have a client and that client, or if you're talking to someone and they come up to you and they say, hey, Josh, is it a good time to buy or sell? What's your answer?
Absolutely.
Why do you say that?
Because it's never a bad time to buy.
Well, okay, that's an answer. I would say that's probably not the full answer. In a way, that is an answer. It could always be the answer. But I think a more correct answer is that it's the right time to buy or sell if you need to buy or sell and you can buy or sell. Right? You see the difference? So the question for you as professionals and you as real estate professionals is not, is it a good time to buy or sell? Because honestly, we always, us in the real estate and real estate finance business, we always think it's a good time to buy or sell for two reasons. One, that's how we make our living. And it's not even about the money. It's about the fact that if you make your living, if you ply your trade as a professional realtor, then the worst thing that can be happening is just nothing happening, right? Because you spent all this time, you spent this education, you spent this training, you've gone over the modules, you've expanded you've done all this to be able to help people and provide that service. So anytime that you feel like you can't, you feel like you're not doing what it is you were put here to do. So to all of us, it's always a good time to buy or sell and always transact. But for the people that are in the general public, they're going to ask this question. So if someone asks, is it a good time to buy or sell? Well, if you can't buy or sell, it's not a good time, right? If you don't need to buy or sell, it's not a good time. So think about that. If one neighbor walks over to another neighbor, hey, you think it's a good time to buy or sell? Well, I don't know. Do you want your kids to go to a different school? Yeah. Well, I'd say it's a good time. Right? Hey, is it a good time to buy or sell? Well, I don't know. Are you in bankruptcy? I am. Well, may not be a good time. Either you can, and it's going to cost you a lot, which it's possible to do, or it's not a good time because you are not both ready to sell or have a need to buy or sell and the ability. So sometimes when the market gets really frothy and gets really active, because of some external force. It could be a rise in demand, a lowering of inventory, cheapening of credit. There's any number of factors that go into why it makes it a good time to buy or sell. But none of those have anything to do with the underlying function of, do you need to buy or sell, and are you able to buy or sell? So if you've got someone in your neighborhood that you're talking to, that's your neighbor, and they're sitting there at 123 Lucky Lane, and they have no need to buy or sell, they're set where they are for the next 20 years, they are sitting there, if you ask them, they're going to give you some answer that has got no meaning whatsoever. Because they're going to say, well, I don't know, I'd wait. Well, yeah, you don't have to move. That's why you would wait, right? So if someone said, hey, your job just got moved next week, you got to go to Iowa. Is it a good time to buy or sell? Well, it's getting better all the time, right? You see what I'm saying? So if you're talking to someone and they ask, or the question comes up, is it a good time to buy or sell? If they've never paid their obligations on time, they've not been able to save any money, and they don't have any ability to, then if that person says, oh no, I'd wait, prices are way up. Well, you're not even in the conversation, really. You're not really in a position to have to buy or sell. So all of this started leading me to trying to understand the difference between chasing the market, reacting to the market, and staying within yourself. So for example, all of those cases, with all of those people, it's not a matter of if it's the right time to buy or sell. It's the matter of when it's the right time to buy or sell, you better buy or sell with the right person. Because no matter whether the market is good or bad, first of all, that's a judgment that you're making, because for every good market, there's somebody that it's not so good for. And for every bad market, there's somebody just taking boatloads of cash and taking it to the house, right? So those are all judgments that you put on it based on what you think you're perceiving and what you're dealing with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you have a person and you're trying to find out, is it a good time to buy or sell? I would tell you that in a market where it's super good, where there's a lot of value, there's cheap money and all the rest of it, you can make a bigger mistake buying or selling with the wrong person in the right market. You feel what I'm saying here? So you got to make sure that you are the person that they find at the top of their game when they need to buy or sell. So it's not a matter of chasing the market like, oh, well, interest rates are up 3/4 of a point, so I don't really want to educate my kids anymore. Nobody says that, right? What they're saying is, man, little junior's turning 5 next fall. I got to get to a new school district that I want him to be in because I know the teacher's there and I went to school there and that's what I want. They are not concerned with what the interest rates are or what the values are. They need to buy or sell. What they need to be asking themselves is, who's the best person to help me do it? I don't care how many real estate books you read, you are never going to be the reason somebody decided to buy or sell. Now, that's not to say there's not investors, right? I mean, we all know plenty of people who buy and sell and trade based on numbers and based on the market, and they're investors. We're not talking about investors. We're talking about just Joe and Jane out there trying to make a living for themselves, feed their family, and live. When that need comes up, you want to be the best option for them. So all of that got me started thinking. So I'm running, and my mind's expanding and my blood's pumping, and I start thinking about these things. And then I started to think about a thought that I'm going to share with you. And maybe, Travis, this is why I'm nervous this morning. I know you said you get more than anxiety, but it may be just because I've had these thoughts. I'm nervous about sharing them. But it made me start thinking about how if you take a market, if you take a town, and you look at all the people in the town that need to buy or sell, then you'd say to yourself, okay, of all of the people in this town that need to buy or sell at any particular time, and there's a bunch of them, I don't care what the market's doing, up, down, doesn't matter. There's always a bunch of them. You need to focus on being the very best option for that person. So when they pull into the station and they need some help buying or selling, you want to be that person, right? If you commit yourself to being that person, you will always have more people to help than you know what to do with, okay? You will be that person. And so then that made me start thinking about like being on a train, or if how you get to different stops in life. There's different places that you pull in, and the tracks of life take you in different directions all the time. And if you were a train conductor and you're pulling into these different stations, the first thing to realize is we're all on the same track. We're all on the same track. Whether you think it's good or whether you think it's bad is usually going to be what story you're telling yourself. Okay? That's the train that you are the conductor of, and the stations that you're pulling into, and the way you see yourself on the track is probably the biggest determiner of how these things are working out in your life. So just like never knowing when it's really the right time for someone to buy or sell and committing yourself to being the right person, you have to then go a little deeper and realize that applies to your whole life. That applies to everything that you're doing. That applies to how you treat everybody you come across. And so sometimes when you're going down the train and you're pulling into the stations, you maybe are at the right station at the wrong time. Maybe you're at the wrong station at the right time. Truth is, you'll never know whether it's the right station or the wrong station. What you need to know is you need to know that you're the right person at that station at that time. Don't question it. Don't question it. A lot of things have happened for you to end up in the right station at the right time. I'll give you a good example. I've recently, over the last couple of years, had some family issues. Everybody got family issues. You got things that go on with family members and just different things, right? And, you always want to think you're doing the right thing. You always want to think that you're helping. You always want to think that you're there. and you're going to do the best that you can to help whoever you can. I've always felt that way about myself, but when I really thought about it a little deeper, I realized maybe that's not as true as I thought. Maybe I was just telling myself that. Maybe that's what I needed to tell Shannon so Shannon could go about Shannon's business. You know, maybe Shannon didn't see his family members there. You know, maybe I was worried about the next station. I'd forgotten that I was at the station I was supposed to be at. So I spend most of my time thinking about the times that I pulled into the station and door opened up and there was my family, and I let that door close and I went on to the next station. I could tell myself anything I want to tell myself. Oh, they'll be fine. Oh, I did what I could. I can't do anything else. I move on to the next station. And so I know now that I shouldn't have second guessed the station I was at. That was me. That was my ego. That was me wanting to make the world the way I wanted to make it. But you know what? The track took me to that station. And those doors opened up. And I let them close. And I turned my back. And I went on to the next station. I didn't know that's what I was doing, but that's what I did. So I hope that I am able to pull into the station the next time. And I'm hoping I get that chance. That my train pulls into the station, and it's the station of hope. It's the station of, let's get together and do something different. And I can just see myself standing there on the train. I pull into the station, the doors slide open, and there's my family there on the station floor. And I just pray that I get the chance to say, come on. Come on, get on this train. Come on, get on this train. I got you. Let's go. No. Just leave your bags there on the station floor. You're not going to need them where we're going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.